Okay, next up is the rumored PS5 Pro. I don't see the point.
What's so different about this upgrade?
They haven't really explained they say it'll have higher graphics and quicker load times. It's like, okay, can you explain how? And they're like, no. Apparently, they've shipped a load of dev kits to America. There's rumored that there's going to be announced next year that there's going to be an upgrade for the PS5. What I want is a PS5 Slim because the PS5 is ridiculously oversized. But yeah, there's two pictures of me holding my PS5 when I bought it, and it is literally gigantic. The PS5 is so oversized. I feel like a slim version would be a welcome addition. A Pro, I don't see the point. They haven't used the potential of the power of the PS5 yet at all. Like, I have a PS5, but literally it's pointless. I kind of regret buying it now. Literally, the only two games on there that you need a PS5 are Ratchet and Clank and Returnal. Neither of them I'm that fussed on. Like, God of War is on PS4. So's Horizon Forbidden West. Like, most of the games on there are also on PS4. Oh, and Spider-Man Miles Morales is on PS4. It's like there's loads of games that are already on PS4. So what is the point of getting a PS5 anyway? And then what's the point of getting a PS5 Pro? I don't understand.
I think the last generation is that I think there's only a slight reduction to the PlayStation 4. Like it's more like a rounded rectangle, whereas the PlayStation 4 is just like, it's like a slab or some sort. And then I don't know if it's thicker for the Pro version, because I think the major difference between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Pro is the 4K resolution. So if they were to release a PlayStation 5 Pro and they say, we got more graphical power for 8K, then, like, really? We don't need that extra power because it's just like as if we have plenty of money to buy an 8K TV when the current phase of the TVs in the moment is OLED ones. And these are still ridiculously expensive. Whereas
Sony thinks you're rich.
Yeah,
because they charge you 500. Because they charge you 500 quid for a console and then 500 quid for a VR headset on top of that, and then 70 quid a game as well. It's like it's not like we're going through a cost of living crisis and everyone's struggling to buy food or heat their house or anything like that. It's not like everyone in the world is struggling to pay rent or their bills. No, yeah, everyone's got loads of disposable income. PlayStation.
I would say that Sony is definitely have a mind of a Tory because they think as if everyone's is rich and doesn't really care for any peasants.
Bloody peasants. Yeah, it's like Xbox peasants.
Speaking of Xbox,
I was also going to be. Oh, go on. The PS5 Pro was. Also, the part of the PS5 Pro rumors is they're going to have a detachable disc drive as well that you can buy. So you can have you can add the disc drive onto it or remove it. Okay,
that does make it sound like it's a Xbox 360 removable drive because you remove the hard drive and then stick it back. Wonder how much these things are.
It's going to be a fortune. The thing is, with the PS5, I kind of get it because if you look at the design of the PS5, it looks like it's designed without a disc drive in mind. It's like a nice vase V shape without the disc drive. But when you put the disc drive on, it's it looks like it's got like a tumor on the side of it, like a lump. So the disc drive just pops out. So it's like curve and then whoop. It's like it looks really out of place, the disc drive, so I can kind of get it.
No, because
it's not a tumor.
It's actually more of a cyst because if you press on it, it just pops out a disc.
Ew. Yeah, it is like a cyst. Yeah, it's not. The PlayStation 5 looks much nicer without the disc tray. Like the digital version of the PS5 does look a lot nicer. Saying that, I still think it's an ugly sin console, and I feel the Xbox looks much nicer.
But the problem is the digital one is you have to end up paying 70 quid for each game to put on a digital edition of a PlayStation 5. So you have to deal with either budget or style. What would you prefer?
And you save money by getting rid of the disk drive, but then it costs you more in the long run because everything's more expensive digitally. So it's like, doesn't make sense. The only thing is, if PlayStation had their own equivalent of Game Pass, which was good, then it would be worth it. But they don't. So I basically I rarely use the disc drive on my Xbox. I mainly buy everything digitally and get everything on Game Pass. They haven't justified the price of a PS5 really, because the only three games exclusive to PS5 are Demon Souls, which is a PS3 game, so really it doesn't count. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and Returnal. Everything else is PS4, PS5 cross generation, so it hasn't really justified the price of getting a PS5. So why should we get a PS5 Pro? I don't understand it to me. Like you haven't really pushed the PS5 to its limits yet. So why do we need a Pro version? It doesn't make sense.
Speaking of Xbox, if Microsoft were to mention an upgrade to it, I suppose you don't feel that great about the PlayStation 5, but how would you feel about Xbox?
If they made an Xbox, Series Z or something, or like the Xbox X Pro, the Xbox Series XX, double X.
Probably most sorry, double X. Or XL.
Would it be just a bigger rectangle?
Yeah.
The bigger rectangle. I use my Xbox a lot more than I use my PlayStation, so it'd be something I would probably be more useful for. It depends what it does, I suppose. Like the load times are decent, the graphics are decent. I don't think I really need a Pro Xbox at the moment. If it goes, it's the only way you can play Starfield at 60 frames per second at 4K. I'm like, all right, I'll buy one then. It's like
yeah, it's just kind of a bit like a new 3DS conundrum. Like you can't play Xenoblade Chronicles unless you play it on a new 3DS because it's got a faster processor to process all of that. So if Xbox were to say, oh, you need need to get this console for it, then it's just like saying, oh, they just announced a new line of consoles, because Xbox Series X and S is pretty much upgraded versions of the Xbox One.
Yeah. So it's what I was saying is like also like a lot of games that come out on the Xbox, they go, do you want to go performance mode or do you want to go frame rate? So do you want 4K with better visuals and ray tracing, or do you want 60 frames a second and like better frame rates and all that stuff? So I guess the Pro version, you could do both in one. Instead of having to pick between the two SKUs, you get like the premium experience. But I don't see the point. Graphics are pretty like amazing as they are. Like I've already got 4K. I've already got 60 frames a second on most games. I don't really see what a major improvements that you could really have graphically on the Xbox. I don't know. I personally don't think I would need one, but I probably would get one eventually because I'm an Xbox fanatic.
I think, in my opinion, I think it will be nice to see a new model of Xbox, but it'll be separate from S and X. So we don't want to see upgrades to S or X, but instead have a bigger model that can do performance mode the high graphical mode, complete with ray tracing at 60 frames per second. And I think this will be a huge deal breaker because it's just like, wow, it's awesome. Like you can get a system that can do the best of both worlds, that you have high graphics and high frame rates. And I think this is what really makes it really good for things like Halo Infinite or Doom Eternal, because I think they already have like pretty graphics modes.
So what you could do if you really want to confuse the customers is if you want to get an X console without a disc tray, and then you want to get an S console with a disc tray, and then you have like literally 4 SKUs. You could have the Series X, the Series S, the Series SX, the SX, and then the Series XX, XS. So it's the X with the S drive, and then the S with the X drive, and then so you got the Series S, Series X, Series SX, Series XS. There you go. That's what we need. 4 SKUs.
If you want Xbox with porn on it, then it will be Xbox Series Sex.
Triple X.
No, it's sex.
Yeah, Series X. The sex, yeah. That's what I said, the sex. You want the sex or the triple X.
Anyway, I think it's just really neat to have this kind of upgrade, but I just think
no need.
probably no need to like upgrade the consoles because I'm really impressed with the Xbox Series S after many months. And you get the same kind of power you get for the Xbox Series X, only you get it on a smaller form factor that does 1080p. Like, if 4K wasn't a thing, this thing would have been the next Xbox, and it's just really fantastic. Did you think?
What? Yeah, what I actually think is if they're going to do another SKU for Xbox, I think they should do the streaming box, which is what we said before. So the even cheaper version of the Keystone, or a handheld. Like, get one of the two. I think that's where they should go next. I think that's the next thing they should do, is get an Xbox either handheld, so it's like basically like a Steam Deck, just like a really chunky thing that streams all your games, or get a streaming deck, which is like literally going to be like 50 quid, and then, like, it'd be like dirt cheap to get people into the Xbox ecosystem. I think either of those is a good idea, or if not both. You don't think we need a Pro. I think the X is already kind of pro enough as it is. You don't need to kind of push it any further. It's already like the most powerful system in the world. It's more powerful than PS5, so
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.